Hello again, welcome back to the channel. I've got what I think is going to be a great video for you today. We're going to take a look at a couple of Toys Alliance Annex 2179 figures, the Anubis, and I think it's pronounced Rakshasa. All right, the first thing we're going to do, like we always do, is take a look at the packaging. And as you can see here, I did get two of the Rakshasa here. These were two of my most anticipated figures coming into 2023, and I am really excited to finally have them. The boxes look wonderful. These are two of the nicest boxes I think I've ever got from Toys Alliance. Both of these I picked up off of Pia Club. You can see there all of the accessories and everything that he comes with. He looks awesome. This box is a lot bigger than most of the Acid Rain or Annex 2179 figures, but these are supposed to be much bigger figures. I think this Rakshasa, or actually both of them, I think they're supposed to be closer to 5-inch rather than 4. So they're in the 1/18 scale, but they are big for 1/18 figures. Here's the Anubis. And these boxes just look great. These are just great box art. It's cool how this one here, he is like double-faced or double-sided. So they do show you the other one, the other side to him here on this box. This one they don't. But that's okay. I am excited to get these guys open. So let's take a look. All right, let's quickly go over a little size comparison just to show you the sheer enormity of these guys. We've got a Boss Fight Studio Heroes Hacks Phantom, a Eagle Force Warhol. This is one of my newest overviews. I did the Corvus Belli Infinity Padre figure. Here is a Star Wars Vintage Collection Crimson Guard. There is a 25th anniversary G.I. Joe Serpentor, and I always forget this guy's name, but it is a Fortnite figure, Foxy something. But you can see they tower above all of them. This guy's closer to normal, but again, it's like his neck or his head that puts him above these guys. This guy's just giant compared to them. But these are all 1/18 figures, except the Star Wars. He's more 375, and I think it shows. He does match up well with the 25th anniversary Serpentor and the Joy Toy figure. But there is a quick size comparison. All right, guys. So I've had him out for a few minutes now off camera here. And when they come out of the box, they do come in almost, I think it's like a triple or 4 different trays here. So they're quite sealed in quite well. And that's the depth of the box there. These figures are great. Like I said, I've only had them out for a few minutes. I've been playing with them a little bit, trying to kind of figure out what's going on here, because they feel, especially the Anubis, there's something familiar about it. I think it's his legs. It feels familiar with Acid Rain, you know, Toys Alliance stuff. But everything else, the paint job, the deco, the sculpt, the armor on the legs, like the legs feel familiar, but the paint and the armor and everything is strangely, uniquely new. Let's start with Rakshasa here though first. So the cyan red, it makes me think, you know, he's cyan on one side and he's red on the other. So maybe they'll have a yellow and a green one day or something like that. But what's really fascinating about this, bring him up close to the camera here. What's really fascinating to me about this guy is these shoulders here. Now he's got these flaps here, and I think so far, this is the only drawback that I've noticed, is these flaps, shoulder pads, or shoulder armor, they don't hinder the movement at all because they do hold up, they do post up. And you want to talk about a T-pose. I mean, this guy he can do the T-pose, you know. And this armor doesn't stay in the way, but it does feel a bit fragile. It does feel like it could be broken off or knocked off, but it looks like it's hinged there and it probably can come on and off. I wouldn't encourage anyone to do that though. All right, I only say that because it seems like to me that it would be one of those pieces that if you take it off and you put it on, you take it off, the more you take it off and put it on, the looser it would be, or the less, you know, it would hold. What's another fascinating thing though here on the shoulder is it is on a ball joint, but that ball joint is also on a ball joint that's in the chest. You can see it right there when I turned it. So this arm's on a ball joint, but in there is another ball joint. Let's see if I can show you that. And I think that's pretty new. It's not a butterfly joint. It's almost like some new action figure technology, you know, that I've never experienced before. I've never seen on another figure. But it's a ball joint on the arm and a ball joint going into what I guess is like a butterfly joint. So it gives you this range of motion, you know, that in two different places. The head, it is sort of your classic acid rain head, neck on a ball joint, the head on its own ball joint on top of the neck. The ornamentation on this guy, on both of them, the paint, it is amazing. It's exquisite. Here are the four weapons he comes with. Two are sort of a green, two are sort of a gold. All four fit here on his belt through a peg, so he can carry all four. They snap right in really well. So you can see here the chest armor is different. This one has a sort of a collar to it. This one has like a jewel in the middle. This head has some horns here. This one does not. So they're very similar, but they're obviously different. They are both quite big, quite beefy. I've noticed both of their feet, their shoes sort of point up, sort of like genie type shoes. But no problem balancing this guy. No, nothing hindering him. I mean, you can just see there on his helmet there, his crown. The head can spin all the way around. His chin gets a bit in the way, but you can spin all the way around. The chest can spin around too. Looks like it was spun already. But it looks to me like the front of this guy, because the shoes here are cyan. Let's see if I can get that in a little bit better light for you. It seems like this is the front though, even though the red is on the front of the box. It just seems to me because he's got the cyan there, and you know, that's the only part that sort of isn't turned around. But I guess he could just flip here at the waist. Maybe that's how he's supposed to act or react. But he's awesome. This guy, you know, he is as good or better than I thought. You know, the paint, those extra points of articulation, the weight of him, the size of him, he is awesome. He does come with two more pairs of hands. They're all gripping hands. Oh, actually, I should say he came with the gripping hands. These are the weapon holding hands, which is the opposite of the Anubis. We'll look at him really quick. He comes with his weapon holding hands, and his extra set of hands is the gripping hands. This guy does have a few removable parts. His backpack does come off. This is to hold this weapon here. I did take it off once. It was kind of hard to get back on, so I'm not going to take it off now, but this backpack does come off. So does the top of his helmet right there. You can see he's got like it's almost like a brain there. So he does have the two removable pieces. It is a brain, but it is acting as a ball joint as well. This head just pops right on. And his colors match, you know, perfectly. He's got some cyan in there, a little bit of red. Great figure. And even he seems pretty tall with this extended sort of neck and head. He seems much taller than an average Acid Rain figure. And we'll do a little size comparison here before we go. So he can hold that weapon there, but the other two, he has a nice sword here. The other two weapons he does have to hold in his hands. Unlike the Rakshasa, he doesn't have a belt loop or anything to put these other weapons on. Reminds me a lot of Stargate, those guys that protected Raw. I think his name was Raw. Look, I do like that movie. Tried to get into the television show, but I didn't get too far. But it seemed like a pretty good show too. Pretty cool figure, man. I do think this guy is so unique. He's so big. He's so different. He steals the show. But, you know, I've got to say, I think this guy right here, too, he's like a 10 out of 10. And this guy is off the charts, you know, 10. You have to make a new scale for him. He's just so unique. He's so cool. He's so different. He looks space agey, like sci-fi. But I can totally see this guy being in your fantasy stuff, fighting knights, fighting, you know, orcs, you know, Prince of Persia type stuff. And I think his weapons sort of match that because he doesn't really, neither one comes with like a gun, you know, a blaster or anything. But I don't see why they couldn't have one. But this guy is just off the charts. You know, uniqueness alone, with these new shoulders, sort of, you know, I keep saying it's not a butterfly joint, but it almost is. It's just such, you know, there's like an advancement here in 118 action figure technology, you know, that I've never quite seen before. And I'm guessing that's why this is so thick and so beefy here. Is, you know, it's got these extra balls in there, these 4 ball joints that are in there. And they do, you know, that would be the one thing, just like these shoulder pads, it does feel like it's a bit fragile because you can see that pin there is fairly thin. It's not like a really thick, you know, ball there, or you know, combining the 2 ball joints, that what we call like the pin, it's not very strong. So I would say, you know, you got to kind of be fairly careful with this. It could snap off, and that would be the only drawback. But, you know, this is not, you know, it does have a 16 and up on there, and I would say, yeah, 16 and up. And even as a collector, you know, I want to just move them around, but you do have to be a bit careful, you know. And as much as these guys cost, because they are more plastic, they are bigger, and they did cost a bit more than Acid Rain, a normal Acid Rain figure, which is already fairly expensive. These were sold out. Did have to pre-order these, you know, the day that I saw them, and I'm glad I did because I know they're not the easiest ones to get right now. And I don't see, like all Acid Rain figures, I don't see these coming down in price. Not ever. But maybe I do think this is sort of a lead-in, though, with the cyan and red here, that they probably will redo this guy kind of like the hero in another color, or, you know, another 2 colors. And maybe it's an exclusive, or maybe it's just a different character. But I do see that happening, in which case I probably would grab another one. But I do have 2, as you saw. And this guy is no joke, man. This has got to be up there in my top figures of the year, just like I hoped and wanted him to be. He's just so different. There's just so much going on in here, in the sculpt and the paintwork, you know, all throughout the body, the belt, just everything you would expect from Acid Rain, and maybe even a little bit more. Maybe even a little bit more, guys. All right, well, I've gone on pretty long now, so I'm going to try to shoot some photos. And thank you for stopping by. Thank you for watching. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know if you're going to get this guy, what you think of him. Am I over the top? Am I, am I putting too much emphasis into this? Or do you think this guy is unique and special as I feel? Let me know. All right. I'll see you next time, guys. Thanks for stopping by.